My brother-in-law was dying, and the doctors told me my wife was the only one who could perform the critical heart surgery. The situation was dire. After a frantic series of calls, I finally managed to get through to her, but it was her childhood friend who answered. "We're heading out for some backcountry camping," he said cheerfully. "We won't be home tonight." Panic, hot and sharp, clawed at my throat. Liam had a heart attack. He needs surgery immediately. Get her to the hospital now. Then, I heard my wife's voice, laced with irritation. "Are you ever going to stop? Now you're cursing my brother to die." Before I could plead, the line went dead. When I tried to call back, the phone was off. As a result, my brother-in-law missed the crucial window for surgery and passed away. My wife, in turn, suffered a complete mental breakdown. I had just stepped into my office when my phone rang. It was one of my wife's colleagues. "Mr. Evans, we can't get a hold of Dr. Chin anywhere," she said, her voice tight with urgency. "Her brother had a sudden heart attack. He needs surgery right away. Can you reach her?" The world tilted on its axis. Forgetting work, I bolted from the building and raced towards the hospital. The entire way, I called my wife, Clara, again and again, but each call went straight to voicemail. When I arrived, I found Dr. Liu, a senior surgeon, shaking his head grimly in the hallway. "This specific cardiac procedure, Dr. Chun is the only one qualified. We need to get her back here now." My brother-in-law, Liam, had a congenital heart condition. It was the reason Clara had gone to medical school in the first place. As a leading cardiothoracic surgeon, she had dedicated her life to mastering the very procedures that could save him. The urgency was suffocating. I kept dialing, my thumb moving on autopilot. After dozens of attempts, the call finally connected. But the voice that answered was not hers. It was Alex, her childhood friend. "Ethan, what's up?" he asked, his tone casual, almost provocative. "We're just getting our gear ready for a camping trip. Not coming back tonight." I had no time for his games. "Liam had a heart attack," I said, my voice strained. "He needs surgery, right now? Put Clara on the phone and get her to the hospital." Then I heard her voice, sharp and impatient. "Can't you just leave me alone? Liam is perfectly fine. How dare you wish death upon him?" I knew this wasn't the time to argue. I tried to keep my voice steady. "Clara, please, you have to come back. Liam really needs you for the surgery." But the line was disconnected before I could finish. I called back immediately, only to be met with the automated message. The phone was powered off. Nearby, Liam's fiancée, Sophie, was sobbing uncontrollably, held up by a nurse. "Ethan, what are we going to do about Liam?" she cried. "Please, you have to get Clara to come back." Their engagement party was supposed to be tomorrow. The thought was a cruel twist of the knife. I had always loved Liam like my own brother. As long as there was a sliver of hope, I wouldn't give up. Forcing down my own grief, I tried to comfort her. "Clara is his sister. She would never abandon him. I'm going to find her. Call me if anything changes." I knew the campsite they frequented. Without a second thought, I was in my car, speeding towards the mountains. When I arrived, I saw them at the foot of the trail. They were shouldering their packs, laughing and chatting as they prepared for their hike. The Clara I saw then was not the one I knew. She was vibrant, animated, her face glowing with a tender expression I had never seen directed at me. Pushing aside the pang in my chest, I ran towards them. "Clara." The moment she saw me, her face hardened, the warmth vanishing completely. "Ethan, what are you doing here? Can't you give me any personal space?" My voice was ragged with desperation. "Liam needs emergency heart surgery. You have to come back to the hospital with me." Her expression soured into disgust. "I saw Liam this morning before he left. He was perfectly fine. You'd even stooped to lying about his health just to get me to come home." She was convinced I was lying. She turned to leave with Alex, but I grabbed her arm. "He's really in trouble. I'm not lying to you." I thrust my phone at her, playing a video I had taken before I left the hospital. It showed Liam, pale and unconscious, in the hospital bed. It was the only proof I had. "Please, just come back and operate on him." Her reaction was something I never could have anticipated. She snatched the phone from my hand and hurled it to the ground. It hit the gravel with a sickening crunch, the screen spiderwebbing into 1,000 pieces. "That's enough, Ethan," she screamed. "If you ever use my brother's life as a weapon again, I swear you'll regret it." Since their parents died, Clara and Liam had only had each other. My repeated insistence that he was in danger had pushed her past her breaking point. Normally, I would have backed down, apologized, and tried to smooth things over. But a life was on the line. "It's real. Call the hospital and confirm it yourself," I begged. For a fleeting moment, A flicker of doubt crossed her face. But then Alex stepped in. Liam just messaged me about the engagement party tomorrow, he said smoothly, a smug smile playing on his lips. And here his own brother-in-law is cursing him. He took Clara's hand. There's a rare meteor shower tonight. If we don't hurry, we'll miss the best spot. That mocking smile broke something inside me. Shut up, I yelled. A man's life is at stake. Is that less important than your damn camping trip? Clara's response was a sharp, stinging slap across my face. Her action told me everything I needed to know. To her, the camping trip was more important. I am so sick of you, she shrieked, her eyes blazing with fury. After Liam's wedding, we're getting a divorce. Without another glance, she turned and walked away, pulling Alex along with her. My head spun from the blow. As I stumbled to follow them, the shattered remains of my phone on the ground suddenly rang. It was Sophie. Ethan, did you find her? She sobbed. The doctor said, Liam, he's not going to make it. You need to come back. Now. My legs gave out, and I collapsed onto the dusty ground. If Clara had just come with me, Liam could have been saved. But she had walked away without a second's hesitation. I summoned every ounce of strength I had left and screamed at her retreating back. Clara, if you don't go today, you will regret this for the rest of your life. She didn't even turn around. Defeated, I scrambled back to my car and sped back to the hospital. In the hospital room, Liam was ghostly pale. He weakly reached out a trembling hand towards me. Ethan, where's my sister? I gripped his hand, my voice choked with tears. I'm sorry, Liam. I'm so sorry. I couldn't get her to come back. He managed a faint, pained smile. It's not your fault. She's the one who doesn't cherish you. You've suffered so much these years. At his words, a sob tore from my chest, and I held him, crying uncontrollably. He patted my back weakly, his voice fading. In my phone, I left something for you. Ethan, you should divorce her. I support you. And then, he was gone. Liam. Sophie's cries echoed in the hallway before she collapsed and was carried away by nurses. Dr. Liu and the staff came in to offer their condolences, but their words were a distant buzz. I sat by the bed, lost in a fog of grief. Just yesterday, Liam had been excitedly telling me how nervous he was for the engagement party. We had made plans for a family trip that weekend. I couldn't accept that he was gone. After what felt like an eternity, a nurse gently prompted me to move. I forced myself to stand, my body aching with sorrow. My first instinct was to call Clara to discuss the arrangements. But then I saw a post on Alex's social media from half an hour ago, a picture of the two of them, huddled closely together by a campfire, smiling. In that moment, any remaining feeling I had for Clara died. I watched, numb, as they wheeled Liam's body away. I prayed he would find peace and a long, happy life in the next world. Then, I sent Clara a single text message. Let's get a divorce. There was no reply. It wasn't until dawn the next day that her response came. Two cold, clinical words. I agree. It was the detached reply I expected, and the irony was crushing. Liam's body was in the morgue, and as his next of kin, Clara needed to be involved. I was about to message her about the arrangements when my phone rang. It was her. Is Liam with you? She asked, her tone brisk and authoritative, as if yesterday never happened. Today is his engagement ceremony. Don't forget to be there on time. She must have been trying to call Liam and, failing to reach him, thought of me. Even if I had sent her a death certificate, she would not have believed it. A wave of exhaustion washed over me. As I was about to hang up, she continued, I might be a bit late coming down the mountain. Go to the venue first and help out. The party was scheduled for 3 in the afternoon. It was her day off, but she was willing to delay her own brother's engagement celebration for a few more hours of camping. I said nothing, listening to the silence. Are you listening to me? Her voice grew sharp. And remind Liam. He hasn't been answering my calls. Make sure he doesn't oversleep. I hadn't eaten or slept in over 24 hours. My throat was raw, and I could barely speak. I was physically and emotionally drained. You should come to the hospital, I managed to croak. You can tell him yourself. I sent her the location and turned off my phone. After a brief rest, I was in Liam's now empty hospital room, gathering his belongings. In his backpack were the wedding rings and the speech he had prepared for the ceremony. What should have been a day of celebration had become a tragedy. Liam was 3 years younger than Clara. After their parents died in a car crash, it was Liam who had shielded Clara with his own body. That had been the darkest year of her life, losing both parents and nearly her brother. When he finally pulled through, she vowed to become a doctor to give him the best possible care. And now, for a camping trip with Alex, she had refused to believe her brother was dying. She had single-handedly destroyed his only hope of survival. The thought brought fresh tears to my eyes. I mourned for Liam's stolen future and felt a chilling emptiness at Clara's cruelty. My gaze fell on Liam's phone, left on the nightstand. Remembering his last words, I picked it up and unlocked it. Just as I was about to open it, the door to the room burst open. Clara stood there, still in her hiking gear, sweat matting her disheveled hair. She scanned the empty room, her eyes landing on me. "Ethan, this joke has gone on long enough," she said, her voice dripping with ice. "Where's Liam?" Alex appeared behind her. "When Clara saw the hospital location you sent, she actually thought something had happened to Liam. We rushed back so fast we nearly crashed." He turned to Clara, his tone laced with sarcasm. "I told you he was just playing games. So, they could have made it back in time." My hands clenched into fists. Clara's eyes filled with disappointment, as if I were the villain. She didn't want an explanation. She was done with the charade. She pulled a document from her bag and threw it at me. It was a divorce agreement. "We're finished, Ethan. I'm exhausted," she said, her voice brittle. "And you are no longer welcome at Liam's engagement party." She practically spat the next words out. "I don't want him to be heartbroken knowing he has a brother-in-law who constantly wishes him ill." Her words were merciless. Ever since Alex had returned from abroad, our marriage had been strained. She insisted he was just her confidant, a soulmate. I had tried to believe her, for her sake. Because I loved her, I had been willing to compromise. But now, that love was gone. "Did you read my messages?" I asked coldly. Without waiting for an answer, I threw Liam's death certificate at her. "I might not be worthy of going, but you are even less deserving. Where were you when Liam needed you? Now he's—" Before I could finish, she tore the certificate to pieces without a second glance and threw the shreds back at me. "Today is Liam's big day. Do you have to ruin it? Just sign the papers. I can't stand to look at you for another second." Suddenly, Alex's phone rang, cutting her off. "What? The engagement party is canceled?" Clara snatched the phone from him to confirm. When she hung up, both of them turned on me, their faces contorted with rage, assuming it was my doing. Alex, whose family owned the hotel where the party was being held, punched me hard in the jaw. "You're pathetic, Ethan, taking out your anger on Liam's party." Clara, forgetting we were in a hospital, began hitting me with her handbag. "Yesterday you said he was dead. Today you cancel his party. Are you not happy until you've completely ruined his life?" I was too weak to fight back. Alex pinned me down while Clara continued her assault. The commotion brought Dr. Liu rushing into the room. "Dr. Chun, stop it," he yelled. "Liam, he had a heart attack yesterday. He passed away." Clara froze. She frowned at him. "Dr. Liu, what are you talking about? My brother was fine yesterday morning. Don't play along with their nonsense. It's his engagement party today. Look, I even brought wedding candy for everyone." She spotted some of her colleagues gathered at the door and started handing out candy from her bag. They exchanged uneasy glances, unsure what to do. They had all seen what happened yesterday. Clara finally sensed that something was wrong. Just as she was about to question me again, a woman stepped forward and slapped the candy from her hand. I was the one who canceled it. It was Sophie's mother. She had been at the hospital yesterday and knew everything. Clara recognized her and rushed to apologize. "I'm so sorry, Auntie. Ethan was just joking. I'll make him apologize. Our Liam is fine. Why would we cancel the party?" She tried to pull me forward, but Sophie's mother wrenched her hand away. "He wasn't joking," she said, her voice cold and trembling with grief. "Liam is gone. How can you have an engagement party for a dead man?" She wiped away a tear. "You are the one who should be apologizing. His brother-in-law begged you to come back and save him, but you wouldn't. What kind of heartless sister are you? And now you blame him for everything." A nurse rushed to support the distraught woman. Clara was known throughout the hospital for doting on her brother. No one could reach her yesterday, and they had all assumed she was caught up in something critical. Now, the truth was sickeningly clear. She had missed saving her own brother's life because she was on a camping trip. Whispers erupted among the staff at the door. "I thought Dr. Chun adored her brother. He was so young." Dr. Liu said she could have saved him if she'd just come back. "Who's that guy?" "I thought Mr. Evans was her husband. She chose camping with him over saving her brother's life. I wonder if she'll ever forgive herself." The barrage of revelations hit Clara like a physical blow. She knew Sophie's mother wouldn't lie. Panic began to set in, and she gasped for breath. Alex rushed to her side, holding her and rubbing her back. "Clara, they must be conspiring to trick you, right?" he whispered, a note of feigned innocence in his voice. "Just so you wouldn't hold the party at my family's hotel?" Only Clara would be foolish enough to believe such a thing. And for a moment, it looked like she did. I let out a bitter laugh and stopped the doctors and nurses who were about to defend me. I grabbed Clara's arm and dragged her down the hall. You don't believe it? Then come and see for yourself. Outside the morgue, a cold draft swirled around us. Clara shivered, trying to pull away. Ethan, you can't joke about this. I ignored her struggles and shoved her inside. See for yourself if I'm joking. I pushed her towards the gurney covered with a white sheet. She screamed. I held her arm tightly, preventing her from escaping, and then I ripped the sheet from the body's face. Liam's peaceful, ashen face was inches from hers. It was the face she knew so well, but his eyes were closed, his skin was like paper, and he was perfectly still. Clara froze, her body rigid. When the shock wore off, she stumbled backward, shaking her head violently. No, that's not possible. That's not my brother. That's not Liam. He's getting engaged today. It can't be him. I watched her cycle through disbelief, collapse, agony, and madness. The same emotions I had endured. I had begged her, pleaded with her, told her that Liam was waiting for her. To save his life. She had dismissed it as a pathetic attempt to win her back. She had forgotten that since Alex re-entered her life, I was the one who had been caring for Liam. No amount of regret could change the outcome. Liam was gone. After a few moments of frantic denial, she began grabbing each of us, demanding answers. When everyone confirmed the truth, she let out a primal scream and lunged at the body. Liam, why are you lying here? It's your sister. I'm here to help you with your engagement party. Get up, don't sleep anymore. But he would never answer her again. As she shook him, his right sleeve slid up, revealing a distinctive birthmark on his forearm. Clara stared at it, and her sanity finally shattered. A nurse, unable to watch any longer, gently tried to intervene. Dr. Chun, please. Let him rest in peace. Clara glared at her with wild eyes. Don't you dare say that. He's not dead, he's just sleeping. Realizing she couldn't be reasoned with, everyone fell silent. Clara, her hair a mess, knelt beside Liam's body, whispering apologies over and over. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sister was wrong, Liam. Please, just open your eyes and look at me. You can't leave me like this. Seeing her like this, I felt a strange mix of pity and disgust. She was both monstrous and pathetic. Suddenly, a figure burst through the door, shoved Clara to the ground, and began to beat her. You evil woman. Why did you only come back now? It was Sophie, her face streaked with tears. It's all your fault. Why didn't you save him? He would still be alive if you had just come back. She had been hospitalized after collapsing yesterday and had just woken up. The sounds of Clara's hysterics had driven her over the edge. Clara didn't fight back, only whimpering apologies. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Sophie. I didn't mean for this to happen. I'm so sorry. Nurses rushed in, pulled Sophie off, and administered a sedative. Clara had taken several blows, and one side of her face was already swelling. With the doorway clear, Alex finally entered and gently helped Clara up, holding her in his arms. Clara, it's not your fault, he murmured. How could you have known this would happen? If they hadn't misled you, you wouldn't have missed the surgery. Even now, he was trying to blame me. I was about to retort when a nurse announced that the people from the funeral home had arrived to take the body for cremation. I had originally intended to ask Clara about the arrangements, but after her coldness, I had no hope she would handle it. I had already arranged for Liam's cremation and burial plot myself. But now, she was clinging to Liam's body, refusing to let anyone near. I motioned for the staff to wait outside while I tried to talk to her. Suddenly, she shot up from her kneeling position and lunged at me. Caught off guard, I stumbled back against a metal cabinet. She grabbed my collar, her nails scratching bloody lines down my face. Ethan, was this your plan all along? She shrieked, her eyes wild with a desperate need to find someone else to blame. Did you kill my brother? Is that why you delayed telling me, so I would misunderstand? And now you're in such a hurry to have him cremated. Her self-deception was so absolute that it made me laugh, a harsh, broken sound. All my pent-up rage and grief exploded. What did I make you misunderstand? I roared, grabbing her and shaking her. Did I not tell you? Did I not beg you? You're the one who made excuses. You're the one who personally signed his death warrant. Liam could have lived. It was you. You chose to go camping with that man instead of saving your own brother. I slapped her, once then again. Soon, both sides of her face were red and swollen. No, it's not like that, she whimpered, covering her ears. I tore her hands away from her head. The person who killed Liam, I said, my voice low and venomous, was you. And now that he's dead, you won't even let him rest. You don't deserve to be his sister. The fight finally drained out of her. She collapsed to the floor, her body racked with gut-wrenching sobs. At last, she stopped resisting, and the staff were able to take Liam's body away. I left the morgue. A few minutes later, Clara, supported by Alex, followed me back to the hospital room. As soon as she sat down, I placed the divorce agreement in front of her. Clara, as you wished. Let's get a divorce. I've already signed it. We can get the certificate tomorrow. To my surprise, she refused without a second thought. No. She crawled towards me on her knees, her face a mess of tears and desperation. Ethan, you can't do this to me. I just lost Liam. I can't lose you too. I looked at her as if she were a stranger. It was over the moment you started sneaking around with Alex. You never trusted me. You resented me. When Liam's life was on the line, you chose to believe someone else over your husband. This is the only ending we can have. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away and walked out, refusing to listen to another word. In the hallway, I thrust the divorce papers into Alex's hands. This was what he had wanted, after all. Back at our apartment, my eyes fell on the wedding candy still sitting on the table, and a wave of sadness washed over me. We had been married for 5 years, but our home had always been quiet. A year ago, we had decided to try for a child, but then Alex returned from overseas. After that, she was always too busy with work, and the topic of children was never raised again. She started spending all her free time with him, and the distance between us grew into a chasm. When I tried to object, she would brush me off. Eventually, I just stopped trying. The oppressive silence of the apartment was too much to bear. I decided to pack my things and leave for good. Just as I was about to walk out the door, Clara came home. She looked drained. Seeing my suitcase, her eyes reddened, and she begged me, her voice small and broken. Ethan, I was wrong. I really can't live without you. Please, just give me one more chance. There's nothing going on with Alex. You have to believe me. We're just friends who like camping. I'll keep my distance from him from now on. I pulled my hand from her grasp. Clara, do you even believe that yourself? If it weren't for what happened to Liam, you would have just kept going like this, enjoying the stability I provided at home while someone else provided. The entertainment. My voice cracked, despite the emptiness in my heart. Not every mistake can be forgiven. I cannot continue to live with someone who would let a person die, with someone who was unfaithful to our marriage. With that, I picked up my suitcase and left. She followed me out, but I didn't let her get in the car. Liam's funeral was 3 days later. During those 3 days, Clara called me every day, sobbing that she was sorry. She begged me to bring Liam back, to forgive her, to tell her it was all a nightmare. I heard from Alex that she had collapsed from not eating or drinking. I felt nothing. On the day of the funeral, Clara arrived with Alex. She was gaunt and pale, and he hovered over her protectively, a smug look on his face. She still hadn't agreed to the divorce, ignoring all my messages about it. When we were supposed to meet to finalize it, she never showed up. After the service, I approached her. We need to talk. Alex immediately stepped in front of her. What do you want? Still can't let her go? Clara looked down, a guilty expression on her face. It's about Liam, I said. He left a message for you. At that, she followed me, not noticing the dark look that crossed Alex's face. In a quiet room, I took out Liam's phone and played the recording. His weak, halting voice filled the silence. Sis, if you're hearing this, I'm probably already gone. Help me take care of Sophie. The money in my account should be split 3 ways. You, Ethan, and Sophie. I've already transferred the deed to my apartment to her. It was a promise I made. Sis, I support Ethan's decision to divorce. I want him to be happy. I'm gone now. You have to take care of yourself. Even though I had heard it before, the simple, selfless words brought fresh tears to my eyes. In his final moments, he thought only of us. Not a single word of blame, only concern. Even Liam supported my decision. Clara, I pushed the divorce agreement towards her again. There's no point in dragging this out. She listened to the recording over and over, crying out his name, clutching her chest as if her heart was physically breaking. Finally, through her tears, she signed the papers. The following weekend, as we walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau, officially divorced, Clara got a phone call and rushed off. Moments later, my phone rang. It was the police. They had determined the cause of Liam's heart attack. He had collapsed at the entrance of a hotel before being taken to the hospital. I had suspected it wasn't a simple accident. After listening to Liam's last message with Clara, I had found another audio file in his phone. Liam's heart attack had been triggered by an argument with the hotel staff. He had gone there that morning to check on the preparations for his party. He overheard the staff joking about Clara and Alex, referring to her as the future boss's wife. Liam, fiercely protective of his sister, had confronted them. In the ensuing argument, he discovered the true nature of their relationship. The shock and anger had triggered his cardiac arrest. The recording captured the staff after Liam collapsed, calling their manager for instructions. The voice on the other end, Alex's, told them to move Liam outside the hotel to make it look like he collapsed on the street, severing the hotel's liability. They had then called for an ambulance. I had given this recording to the police, and they had launched an investigation. The person who gave the order was Alex. That's why Clara had rushed off. Alex had been taken in for questioning. I hurried to the police station and saw Clara bailing him out. When she spotted me, her eyes widened. "What are you doing here?" I ignored her and confronted Alex. "You insisted on taking Clara camping that day. It was premeditated, wasn't it? You wanted to make sure she couldn't get back to the hospital in time to save Liam. That way, his death would look like an unfortunate accident." "What are you talking about?" Clara interjected, defending him. Liam's collapse did happen at Alex's hotel, but he didn't know anything about it. I sneered. She clearly didn't know about the second recording. Liam's phone recorded everything. "The staff called you Alex. They moved Liam to the street on your orders. You knew everything, and you kept it from her. You even lied about Liam texting you, because you were guilty." I lunged at him, hitting him again and again for Liam. I had thought he was just a manipulative homewrecker. I never imagined he was a monster. I didn't know, he stammered, trying to deny it. But I kept hitting him. "You're a murderer." It took several police officers to pull me off him. Clara had heard everything. She stared at Alex, her face a mask of horror. "Is it true? You knew, and you hid it from me." "Clara, don't listen to him," Alex pleaded, clutching his bruised face. "I thought he and Liam were working together to trick me. I didn't take it seriously. I swear, I didn't mean for it to happen." After being separated, we were told to settle the matter privately. Clara finally understood the real reason Alex had been arrested. Outside the station, she was silent for a long moment. Then she turned to Alex and slapped him hard across the face. "You lied to me. Give me back my brother. You killed him." Alex, already beaten and now publicly shamed, finally dropped his facade. "If we're being honest," he sneered, "we both killed him. And it was finding out about us that triggered the heart attack in the first place. You are the one who truly killed him." I watched them tear each other apart with a cold satisfaction, my heart aching for Liam. His marriage to Clara and me had been over for a long time, but he never knew. He had died trying to protect his sister's honor. In the end, the hotel staff took the fall. The hotel paid Clara millions in compensation. As for Alex, his family's connections and the lack of direct evidence meant he walked free. Clara was no longer a brilliant surgeon. After Liam's death, she could no longer hold a scalpel. She lived in a waking nightmare, a ghost of her former self. After several near disasters in the operating room and numerous complaints, she was fired. A month later, after the mandatory cooling-off period, our divorce was finalized. We went to visit Liam's grave together one last time. She gently wiped his photograph on the headstone, whispering to him for a long time. She was quieter now, hollowed out. As we were leaving, she told me, "I'm going to marry Alex." I was stunned. "Why?" I asked, unable to comprehend it. She didn't answer directly, but when I saw her hand instinctively go to her stomach, I understood. It was her decision to make. Later, I received a wedding invitation from Alex. The venue was the same hotel where Liam's party was supposed to have been. I threw it in the trash. On their wedding day, they both made the national news. In the middle of the ceremony, Clara stabbed Alex 10 times. Each blow meant to be fatal. Photos from the scene were leaked online. The groom's death was brutal. Clara was immediately arrested for intentional homicide. I knew, in her own twisted way, she had finally gotten justice for Liam. That night, a timed email arrived in my inbox. It was from Clara. It contained a meticulously compiled dossier of all the illegal activities of Alex's family, along with a confession letter and several bank cards. I organized the evidence and sent it anonymously to the authorities. Soon after, Alex's family's hotels were shut down for tax evasion. Their other businesses collapsed, and everyone involved was arrested. I deleted the confession letter. The money on the bank cards I used for something more meaningful. Before her sentencing, I went to visit her in prison. She managed a weak smile when she saw me. "I didn't think you'd come." I won't be able to visit Liam on the anniversary of his death. Tell him not to worry about me. I promised I would. I told her that Alex's family empire was gone, and that I had donated all her money to a cardiac disease foundation, hoping to help others in Liam's name. She nodded, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek. There was nothing left to say.